Freeze. I think we're live and I think we made it. What is up, everybody? Lean Builder Nation. Adam Hoots here, coming into you with a gang of LCI folks again. I am so excited to get this day kicked off. We're going to be talking a little bit about LCI Congress Learning Day. But as we get going, we do have a new face here. I know some of us are live stream veterans here going around, but I do want to get it kicked off with just a quick intro. And then, you know me, and I always bring an icebreaker question. So I want to kick this off, maybe do a quick intro, who you are, and then icebreaker. Who is the best teacher that you have ever had, either in construction or in your personal life, or maybe it's your parents? I don't know. Whatever that looks like to you. And I'm going to get it started off. I'm going to kick it off with you, Miss Elizabeth, because I know how you love being put on the spot here. Other side of the screen, Miss Elizabeth, take it away, and then just kick it to someone else, would you?
Yes. Yes. The best teacher that I had was a superintendent that I worked with when I was a project manager. And think about the qualities that he had or what he helped me with. He really met me where I was at. So understanding the knowledge that I had, but then also did a really, really good job pushing me outside of my comfort zone and stretching my comfort zone. So the big lesson that he taught me is the importance of getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and realizing that feeling is just you're in the growth zone. So that is my best teacher. And I carry that one on to many others and many other people that I coach. Tammy, let's hand it to you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I am Tammy McConaughy, Senior Director of Education, forgot my title for a minute, and Engagement here at LCI. Adam, you gave us this question over the weekend, and I have struggled naming one person. And I think that's because there's been so many amazing teachers in my life, and I did not give her a heads up. But, one of them even being Elizabeth's late husband here. And I actually quoted something he told me over the weekend, so I think I'm going to focus on that. But before I get to that, I think the thing that most resonated with me is that the teachers or the people that I identify as teachers in my life, they didn't have the easy answers. They were there to placate me, or make me feel good, or, they were there, like Elizabeth said, to challenge me, to teach me a different perspective, and sometimes even to teach me something I didn't want to do, because sometimes our teachers are also people that we can recognize that is not how I want to show up. I see that lesson you learn. I used something Marcus told me over the weekend with somebody, and I had a great impact, and I was going to bring it up because of that impact on a friend. She was just really struggling with aging, just getting older in life and stuff. And I just remember being on a phone call during COVID with Marcus, and this whole memory popped into my mind. And why I'm supposed to share it now, I don't know, but there's a reason. And I said something about gray hair, and Marcus was like, don't ever feel sorry for aging, because it's something that not everybody gets to do, and it's a privilege. And I'm like, that has really stuck with me lately. But it was just that little moment that I didn't realize that was a teaching moment for me that now has lasted through, and now I can share that with others as well.
And such a beautiful thing.
All right, Miss Joan, you're up.
Hi, all. I'm Joan Piccariello out of Arlington, Virginia, and I'm the Director of Program Development for LCI, so the Program Manager for Congress. And gosh, one of my, favorite teachers was someone I worked for in the defense industry, and I had gone from working proposals in the defense space to strategic planning. And I think we came back from lunch and he's like, you need to slow down. You're crunching through things, because that's what we did on the proposal side. You need to kind of slow down and think about, whatever project I was working. And I was like, oh, somebody's giving me some space to think. So anyway, it was a cool moment. And I just read an article, Tammy, about aging last night in the Washington Post, and there's this new term called nona maxing. So the Italian grandmothers are on social media and the whole, talked about these two women are like 94 and 96 and best friends. So anyway,
I love. You called it Nona maxing? Is that what you said?
wow, it's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They deserve that, the lifetime of service to others, I'm sure, being an Italian mother, especially. Absolutely. That's beautiful.
I love that.
Man, I love how an icebreaker can just bring out some moments like that. That was really cool. Thank you for that. And, so I'm going to answer my own icebreaker, right? I've had two teachers or people who have influenced my life. One was Mr. Blue in the second grade. I'll never forget that man. Like he asked a question one time, can shoes make you jump higher? And the entire class said, no way, that's stupid, not going to happen. And I was like, actually, I got this new pair of Jordans and I can now touch the neck, Mr. Blue. So yeah, they do. And it turned out to be such a big moment in my life because it was like, it was me like expressing like you can actually go out there and manifest things, right? Like you can actually, like if I see something and I believe it so deeply, it will actually happen. So can new shoes make you jump higher? Maybe the shoes don't, but the thought or the belief and that I can will actually make me jump higher. And so that's one. And then my other one is Buddy Brumley. Like I am so blessed to have known Buddy, to have written a book with Buddy, like to like just be, he is, for those of you that don't know Buddy's the OG lean builder, right? Like he is who the lean builder was written about. He is the OG old dog. Like he is just somebody who at every moment had a little bit of wisdom, just like you were saying, Tammy. Like you never know where that wisdom's going to come from, or even that it is wisdom until one day it hits you and you're repeating it. And I find myself doing that a lot of times with some of the words and phrases that Buddy had. So, just those two impacts on my life have really made me a lot of who I am, just inquisitive and like wanting to know and discover things. And it's just like, that's the life I live for. So, as you mentioned earlier, it's a labor of love, to kind of come all the way back to that. So, I want to
I do have to ask a question really quick though. Were the Air Jordans the pump up ones?
We know that. Yeah. I love how you're a sneakerhead, huh?
Yeah, I might know some of that.
I was shocked to learn this, but actually 60% of new folks are who attend LCI are new attendees, I guess is the best way to say that. So I was really surprised. And so understanding that and knowing that that's who we're talking to right now, primarily, I guess, Miss Joan, what would you tell that 60% of folks who will be first timers? What would you tell them about Learning Day and why it's happening before Congress, not after Congress? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, absolutely. So Learning Day, we have an offering of 30 courses. Most are 4-hour courses. So folks are able to take up at 8 to noon and a 1 to 5. And there's, I believe, 4 full day courses. So it's a great way to kind of do a deep dive before folks on Tuesday, before folks go to the learning session on Wednesday and Thursday. And there's definitely some courses that are catered to folks who are, brand new to LCI and to Lean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want us to run down that. I guess, Miss Tammy, you might be the best one to run us through the menu of courses that we have as offerings.
Well, we have some really exciting courses, plus our, I don't want to say the same thing, but right, the things that people come to LCI for as well are our workshops. And I want to steer away from the word courses and actually focus in on workshops versus, right?
Why?
These are not... Well, because they're not intended to be, I'm going to go sit here and take notes for 4 hours or a full day. These are immersive. They're meant to be interactive because really what we want people to do, this is that immersive, to use the word again, learning experience where I'm going to go learn how to do this in a controlled environment. Then I'm going to go to the core program for the next 2 days and I'm going to see it in action. But now I have a better understanding to try to connect that learning, right? I'm going to understand it better. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see it in action so I can go do it. Right. And so we really built, I'm very excited about our learning day opportunities this year. We've built in some new stuff. We have our LCI workshops, like Joan alluded to, intro to last planner system, intermediate last planner system, our target value delivery courses, a lot of our baseline of what we offer. We have some new exciting courses that we're offering for our advanced practitioners too. A lot of what we've heard that we're missing in the past. So some of those, like Elizabeth usually helps teach. She's not going to be teaching it this year, but this will be our second Congress that we're offering the foundational behaviors for project lean leadership. This is not where you go to learn how to facilitate a meeting. This is how you learn a little bit more about what does it look like to behave and show up as a lean leader. And what would you add to that, Elizabeth? Because I know you've been teaching it.
Yeah. And like you said, it is really how the important characteristics, right? How we build psychological safety, what coaching really looks like, and has a lot of interactive exercises throughout the course to give you practice really in a safe space to go through coaching and really embedding the continuous improvement mindset, right, as a leader. So gives you, like Tammy said, tools that you can come back to, an understanding of behaviors of what it really looks like to show up as a lean leader.
And that is we keep that intentionally small. So we cap that class at 24 attendees. And it is a full day class. So if you are interested in that, I would say if you're not registered, register now. Because when at 24, we do not let anybody else in that because we want to keep that intentionally small and intimate. So that way people can have those conversations with each other.
And who's facilitating that one, Miss Tammy?
Oh, well, I don't know. Do you know Matt Kitzmiller?
I don't.
From Rosendin Electric?
I don't, but if you got a trade partner teaching that, that's what we need. I know that much.
Yeah, so Matt Kitzmiller from Rosendin Electric, he's their lead trainer. He came from the field, worked his way up to lead trainer. He's one of the facilitators. Daniela Gracie from CRB, she is a facilitator. She's a senior project manager over there. And then Jessica Kelly from Merck. She's their director of integrated project delivery. She's facilitating as well. So we have a great cast in that. Matt brings some great stories. Let me tell you, him and Daniela were actually part of the group, the task force that actually helped create this. So it's kind of exciting to see them, help improve it and keep teaching it as well.
Heck yeah. Well, it sounds like, Matt, I'm coming to find you. It sounds like I need to know you in one way or another.
Matt is an awesome guy. Seek him out. Yes, absolutely. You guys will hit it off.
Well, I can tell you, I'm going to be there too, Miss Tammy. I get to sneak in and teach a little bit with Jesse Hernandez on the sweat equity, which we were there last year. We had such a good time, and it is so not a course like you're saying. This is not going to be somebody standing at the front of the room telling you what you need to know and how you need to know it. Like, that is not what we do in these things. And so I'm super excited for that one, to be able to teach people how to study the work, and more important, the workers, right? Like, not just looking at the work, but looking at the workers and how they're getting it done, and making sure that we're able to build relationships first, but then also figure out how we can improve the work for the workers that are actually doing the work. So I love that one. What's, I guess I want to toss that one out there. What's some of your other favorites for everybody out there on the panel here? What are your other favorites? And those that fill up fat.
We actually have some new offerings this year with some partnerships we have. So Lean Enterprise Institute is partnering with Turner Construction to come talk about the daily huddles, but how we use them in leadership for problem solving. So not out in the field. So, right. And in just operations. So that's going to be an exciting one. We have another great partnership bringing in. They host the Global Lean Summit every year. Anna and Jared Thatcher, they're actually, hint, they're also hosting a Construction Japan trip this year, if anybody's interested for us. But also too, they're coming in to talk about like, stop waiting to build your lean organization. Here's how you do it. And the focus, I mean, I've been through one of Jared's workshop and he makes it so applicable. It is amazing the way he does it. So for those advanced practitioners that are like, we've been doing this on projects, we need to take it to the next level, strongly encourage you to attend that. We have a couple of great ones focused on team building, like communication. We have respect for people. The respect for people one coming out of the respect for people roadmap, which we have a partnership with them. Scott is teamed up with Boulder and Associates to help teach that. Plus Boulder is also teaching another one on communication. I think the other one that I know Joan's probably waiting for me to mention too here, we have one of our keynote speakers who is also teaching. He is based in Simon Sinek methodology, but how to build trusting teams, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Simon Sinek nerd. And so I'm really excited that we're able to bring that too as well. And we are trying to cap that as well, but man, that should be an exciting sign up. I mean, that's not something that you normally get, right? Outside of go and pay this big fee for this big class and do that. So I think we're bringing a lot of valuable things for a lot of different levels this year.
Tammy, maybe you can kind of expound on it, but we do have a new LCI course. So it was actually new in Chicago at Lean and Design Forum, but it's advancing set-based design for the lean practitioner.
Absolutely. For those of you at that practitioner level that maybe you're thinking target value delivery, like how does this fit in? I know we talk a lot about set-based design as it really goes hand in hand with target value delivery, or you're on the design side, the AE side, or on the pre-con side of things thinking, how do I gauge better in this because I'm integrated early? That set-based design course really dives into how do we practice set-based design on a project. It is very much for the lean practitioner. So if you're new to lean, I'm going to say you might be a little lost. So you might want to take some other intro courses before you get there, before you get to that next year or at Design Forum too. But yeah, that's another exciting new half-day course we have this year from the LCI wheelhouse.
Heck yeah. And so it sounds like we're bringing some outside construction folks in. Like, is there strategy behind that, or what, like, where did that come from?
You know, I think the biggest thing that, that comes from is bringing the practitioners in for that peer-to-peer learning. We internally have been doing a lot of voice of the customer right now because, like many of you, we're going through strategy sessions right now. And I'm going to tell you the one word we consistently have heard in all our voice of the customer calls is community, right? And so I think that right there is Congress. Like if we think about that, that's Congress. And that learning day, right, is bringing that peer-to-peer learning in. So bringing more of that peer-to-peer learning in to help feedback, like, right, that PDCA loop, like, hey, here's what we did. We had this plan and we went and did this. We checked back and this is what we learned and adjust. And having that bringing that to teach people, to share that, this is how we did it. That's what people are looking for in our community, right? Show me, teach me, like, help me. And so that's really that mentality we're trying to bring.
Yeah, that was one thing, Elizabeth, you said it earlier. It was, one of your best teachers. They met you where you are, right? They recognized your need and came to help you, I guess. Which one of the classes are you feeling most jazzed up about, Miss Elizabeth? We've heard a lot of options out there.
Well, I'll say in addition to what Tammy said, a lot of the new ones I am really excited about, and for me being a big focus on taking lean above and beyond just the project level. So very excited that those opportunities are there. A couple that have stuck with me that I have taken in the past, that I always recommend to people. I really love the Do What Matters Most session. We all have so many competing priorities and just, it's hard to keep up. So that session provides a really great framework for prioritization and providing or performing at a high level. Also really like Rex Miller's building teams workshop one as well. So I know those are both ones that normally fill up. I will say, Adam, I was last year teaching Next Door to You and Jesse and the SQI So for those of you that are considering that session, if you want extreme high energy, very interactive session, highly recommend the SQI. We had to pump up our energy. I think we had a good competition going on who could be loudest.
Yeah, you guys are pretty loud next door. If I remember right, we actually had a couple of times where we were just agitating you.
When there ever noise ordinance this year, the hotel.
We're just trying to pump up the group. So it was fun. So we keep it fun in these sessions while we're learning together as well.
Absolutely. And I think that's the difference between a course and a workshop, right? As someone who has taken a lot of courses, they tend to be boring and like just not fun. And I leave often. And so, yeah, I did not leave, but I got news for Jesse. Like I just heard this like trusting teams workshop and set-based design. And Jesse, you might be missing me for a couple of sessions here and there. If I disappear or wander off, something got shiny. Just know that.
I want to say I like the reframe, Tammy, on the workshop versus course, because it is so true. And I think one of the benefits of taking these is, in addition to the learning and kind of building the foundation for the week, you're also going to meet people in the session, right? And people that you can then team up with through the rest of Congress, because they're all interactive. You have breakout groups, you have intentional time that you'll be able to have conversations within the group. And I've met some great connections by attending the learning days.
Oh, wonderful point, Miss Elizabeth. I come to Congress because of the connections, and I never really kind of pieced together, those people who you see and meet in those workshops are the same, like those faces are going to stick out to you for the rest of Congress. And inevitably you'll end up gravitating to them and talking and building those relationships, which is what it's all about. And the reason that I know I keep showing up to Congress each year. I am like, man, you guys are getting me so fired up. These live streams are so much fun. And Miss Tammy, you brought a little bit of energy this time that I love it. So thank you for that. So for folks, like, I'm going to toss this one out. I don't know who the right person is, right? But I want to be one of that 60%. I want to be a new timer there, right? And how do I convince the people who are going to pay to send me, right? How do I convince them that this is going to benefit me, or this is actually going to help our company or our organization?
Yeah, and we actually have a note or a letter you can send your leadership, kind of convincing them to come, so we can drop that in the chat.
I'll tell you what, shout out to Mason behind the scenes, because Mason is on top of things. By the time you got done saying it, that chat is full.
Just wanted to mention that this is the week to register, because we are at what we call our opening registration rates, and those go away. So Friday morning, if you go to register, the rates will be a little bit higher. So if you know of anyone who's interested in coming to Congress who hasn't registered yet, the next 48 hours are crucial.
Elizabeth, I'd love to hear, I'm out of that role now, right? I no longer have to say, like, this is why I should go to Congress this year. Now it's just mandatory. It's part of my job. But I'd love to hear, I mean, in your role too, I'm sure you get a lot of people coming to you now asking that question and having to help them with that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, what would you encourage people to talk to their managers about?
I was trying to think back. So thankfully, we've reached the kind of point where the company does see value in it and continue to send more and more people each year. But it is because, we always make the commitment of coupling learning with action. And in each one of these sessions, like you are going, like Tammy said, you're going to get some very tangible things that you can take back and start implementing. You may not be able to do all of it right away, but there will be things that you can go to your project, go back to your office the next week and start taking those small steps where the company will see the value. So we always encourage people, we help people select their sessions kind of based, again, that meet them where they're at, based on where they're currently at, right? So having conversations about projects that they're currently at. I know there's a session that's all about communication on large projects, right? So we're steering a lot of our data center team members, right, to that session this year. So getting an understanding of their current state and understanding of Lean to make sure they're in the right session. So really do pay attention to if it's an advanced workshop or if it's more of a beginner, and can engage where you're at in your learning journey. And then make a commitment to you figure out a way to cascade what you learn back to your organization. Whether that's, we have people teaching in PM meetings, or we do Friday stand-ups and sharing their information back. But I think that's a way to really help leadership see that they're obviously making an investment in you by sending you there, right? And investing in your learning and development. So then paying it forward to the company by taking others under your wing and sharing what you learned with them.
Yeah, you just nailed it. I think that's the trick, right? One, write an abstract, so you have to go. But if you miss that boat, the other way is hey, be a super note-taking fanatic when you're there. Take pictures, take video, and when you come back, maybe put a slide deck together to send to your boss or send to that person that enabled you, and say, hey, can I deliver this in a lunch and learn? Can I hit our standard? I love how you just brought it back, share that knowledge that you're gaining, right? That's the ultimate way to be a lean leader, to be a team player.
Yeah, if people want to go their second time is when they have to write their abstract. So you come back, you learn, now you put it into action, then you come back and share it. And we have some of those presentations this year.
Tammy, I know you kind of came up the private side before you joined LCI. Can you run me through the levels of maturity as you start hitting Congress over and over until maybe eventually you're at what we're talking about, teaching a learning day?
Yeah. And actually we have a great roadmap here at LCI that we use. It's on our learning page. And we talk about it as, we often start as a lean learner. I heard about this lean thing, or somebody said, you need to go figure this out. I got no clue what it is, or maybe I have some idea. I want to go learn more. So I need to learn what it is, right? And then we go into that lean apprentice stage, which we're just starting out. We're figuring out how to use the tools, how to do the work, right? How to put those capabilities in place, or even what capabilities we need. And so really Congress is made for that lean learner, that lean apprentice, right? And that's oftentimes what we see those new people coming into Congress being. They're here to learn. And I know, Elizabeth, when you and I worked together, when I was at CRB, we often use Congress as that way to be we want to get these people intent. We need to get them to understand how important lean construction, lean project delivery is. And this is such a great way to expose them to that excitement, that community, and get them to understand how big this really is. It's not just these team of people who get paid to coach people to do this. It's huge. It's the best way to build. From that lean apprentice, then we go into that lean practitioner. And that practitioner is that person that I've been applying, but now it's becoming a part of my daily practice. It's how I do my work. I'm constantly looking for waste, or I'm constantly looking at how can I continuously improve this, or how can I use PDCA, or I'm constantly looking at how I apply last planner system, right? That lean practitioner is practicing every day. Short little plug here. If you've been a lean practitioner for 3+ years, please come get your capabilities certified with the LCI certification. But from there, even without the LCI certification, right, we advance to that advanced practitioner. And the advanced practitioner level are the people who we've been doing this, right? We talk about that road to mastery, 10,000 hours, right? We've been doing this. We also recognize there's so much we don't know, because it's like a constant loop. I mean, even for me, set-based design, working with the team who created the set-based design workshop, there's so much more I learned about set-based design, even after using it and teaching it. And it was these moments of, I'm advanced enough to know this is something new, and I got to go back through the process again. Advanced practitioners are also coaching and teaching and training, right? They're there, boots on the ground as well too. And so we're really building out all levels at Congress. We also recognize, as you get to lean practitioner, advanced practitioner, sometimes it's a lot more about the people than it is the breakout sessions, the content, right? Sometimes it's more about the connections that you make, and that's okay. That's that community aspect of Congress.
Yeah, I think the more we practice, the more we realize how much the people are the focus. It's capability. It's developing capabilities to develop capabilities for other people. And it starts internally. And we do that by attending the Tuesday at LCI Congress, right? We develop our own capabilities. We learn what we can so that we can develop other people's capabilities. I love it. I don't really have many other words to say. I'm going to be there. I'll be bouncing back and forth from SQI to trusting teams. And that's literally my research. I'm so fired up about that. I guess, Elizabeth, you are the co-chair. I don't know if you have any last kind of final thoughts or words of wisdom to take us out as we close this live stream and prepare for the next one.
Yes. Yes, as you're looking through the agenda, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to somebody that has attended before. I'm available. You can reach out to me through LinkedIn. Sure, you can volunteer Tammy to be available as well. But happy to, if you narrow it down to a few sessions and you're just not sure which one to take, happy to talk through it with you and give you some thoughts. But take time to read through it. There's a lot of great options there. And like Joan said, get registered this week before those rates tick up a little bit on Friday.
Boom. There you have it, y'all. So we will see you at the next live stream here in a couple of weeks. Be on the lookout, y'all. Holla, holla.